Hello, good
Hi,
evening from Java Capital.
can
How's
you
it
hear
going,
me?
guys?
Yeah,
Good to be. We
yeah, yeah.
can hear everybody absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Karthik,
that's
welcome back,
great.
host.
Right, last week only we both did. No, we didn't do that.
We didn't do last week,
No,
but the week before
somebody
that
else
we
was
had
hosting.
Sarthak.
Karthik was,
Oh, Karthik was not
yeah.
hosting. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Karthik didn't get bit by the mosquito. Yeah.
Yes, I've been spared. My blood is not juicy enough for the mosquitoes. Great, yeah, good to be back. I think we were not there last week. We were all traveling to different places for different reasons. Vinod is freshly back from a vacation at Varkala in Kerala. Recharged, Vinod.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that reminds me. You should just pull up my Twitter and put it out. Then if you're anyway going to bring it up, you might as well bring the vacation pics. Make that place famous. At least I promised the owner I'll publicize, make your place famous.
Yes, yes. Is there some insidious uh, move behind it, like in terms of discounts or stuff like that? Some ulterior motives?
No, no ulterior motives. I think there is good. I think I had a driver who picked and dropped us back. Actually, it's pretty good, decent experience. Frankly speaking, overall, I think it was a fun vacation and not much of activity, just lying around the beach and having food, traveling. Traveling in a sense doesn't, and I don't like visiting places. Frankly speaking, when I go to a place, right, go see A, B, C, D checklist. I mean, if it comes on the way somewhere, fine, but I just not like trying to do a checklist holiday, right? Which is not my usual. I think I've grown. Initially that I used to do when I was young. I think, but I kind of moved from doing checklists, and I just like just staying and just absorbing, just whiling away. And literally, that's holiday for me nowadays. Yeah.
Vinod, yeah, that's something you and I have common, man. We have someone, Ravan, saying Varkala is a nice place. The boutique hotels are too good.
Yeah, this is one of the boutique ones, actually.
Look at
So,
that view, man. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
this is a
Raman,
wonderful
I
picture also,
couldn't agree
Vinod.
more.
yeah, thanks to the iPhone, you know.
That's an iPhone picture, Bhargavi. One more cue.
Yeah, look at this, right? That's a beautiful picture. You guys didn't comment on it. Vegetarian, when I see. Yeah,
The shrimp picture. Let's go back. This one.
yeah. So there's a fish, there's squid in it, if you notice.
Oh, that's squid. Okay, and shrimp.
Yeah. Shrimp, squid, there's a fish also. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Equal opportunity uh, meat eater, huh? Fish eater,
Yeah,
pescatarian.
yeah. This is that
Beautiful,
boutique.
man. Love it.
Yeah. I think we should do an offsite sometime here. I keep telling you guys, yeah, this is a beautiful place to do actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. I mean, I'm all up for it.
Yeah, it's a lovely
Vinod,
place.
Yeah.
see, tactfully, Bhargavi is not committing to the offsite.
Yeah. It's like 2 hours away from Bangalore, technically. I mean, 3 hours away from Bangalore.
Oh, then
Yeah,
it's
pretty good,
like
man.
as good as coming to work for me. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, but you have to take the flight. Yeah, that's the difference.
Oh, it's a 2 hour flight from Bangalore.
No. I mean, 1 hour go to the airport, another hour of flight, so another hour from there. Technically, I think
Oh,
5 hours you can reach the destination from
What is
Bangalore.
the closest airport?
Thiruvananthapuram.
Oh, Trivandrum. Okay.
Yeah. Trivandrum is a colonial name, yeah, by the way.
yeah. All right, so good, man. I think much needed vacation
Yeah.
that
For
you were able
Vinod.
to, for Vinod. Yeah, exactly. Um,
I mean,
take a break
freely
from
we are
going to
giving.
Chennai for a week.
And for us also. Much needed vacation from Vinod.
From
I mean, hardly. I mean, I think I mean, hardly Karthik and me are in office today, but hardly you see me. So you should not complain. Maybe Karthik can.
I
Yeah.
am giving
So
you
guys,
people more vacation from me.
Yeah.
no, we want to see more of you, Bhargavi. We like you.
Yeah. So that I'm an expert on Workala for 1 month, folks. Anybody wants to know anything, let me know. After that, I would not offer free services. Yeah, I would charge for it.
There you go. That's the ulterior motive, guys.
No ulterior, nothing, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move to some interesting
Work?
topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I think you guys, one of you guys, take the mantle. I'm literally burnt out today. Nothing comes to my mind.
No,
No,
I
I
think
think,
the deal which fell through was a big shocker. In fact, right? I think it's all over the news. People are saying, "Oh, fintech is this the edtech 2022 moment of fintech in India now?"
mm,
Oh, elaborate.
Buildesk deal, right? Where when it
Oh
fell through.
yes, yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah, so there is a crash in edtech, right? So now because of this fall through, I was reading a couple of articles where people are like, "Oh, is this now going to be like a crash moment for fintech as well?" But actually, it was a shocker. I didn't expect the deal to fall through, but
Yeah,
I don't think we have a lot of information on the whys of it, especially after competition commission approved, right? I didn't expect the deal to fall through, so it was a shocker. So
mm. No,
hmm.
I think I think I have my own theories when this initially broke out, right, in the news. I mean, there could be multiple theories, but I think it was clearly overpriced at that time when the market was pretty high, or it was priced right and the market fell. The price was not working out. So I think price negotiations would have kind of
maybe I agree
yeah.
with you on the pricing, Vinod. Even when I looked at more information on the turnover of Buildesk, right? I think it was steeply priced, even for somebody like a pay you to buy.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. No, I think that was one reason, and I also think I think there's too much of uncertainty that's looming all the time. The last 12 months, right? The Taiwan Straits crisis, the Ukraine crisis, the Sri Lankan crisis. So, and the dollar moving up significantly, right? Now we are reached 82, I think today. We are pretty
Yeah,
much reached
yeah,
82. I mean, if you look at the dollar rate, like in the last just 2 months, right? 75 to 82 is like a massive appreciation. It's just sitting on
yeah,
top.
yeah.
I think, and then this nuclear threat and and like North Korea firing missiles, South Korea responding. I think macros are looking very, very uncertain. That I think that's what's causing a lot of doubts in people's mind. To just uh, uh, actually, that could be the uh, possible macros hitting. I think that's probably one of the reasons. And the other deals also, right? Um,
Yeah, but I
um,
think Buildesk fundamentally is a good organization, right? I think they have like what 70% market share in India today, which is not small in that space. So I think the organization per se is good. I also attribute a lot to the pricing of the deal, and yeah. So,
No, but
but
why are
now
we
it poses a
speculating? They
question.
they said some of the conditions precedent were not met.
are they?
Yeah, really. They said some of the CP documents didn't come on time. Really?
Are they? Look, I mean, we know this, right? You could put some onerous CPs and wait on it forever if you want, literally, right? Technically speaking. Yeah. So I think that's a ruse. I hope nobody sues us for this, but it could just be.
But what do you
I
guys
mean,
think? You think somebody else will now come and do a offer?
no, I doubt it. Market is bad. That's simple as that.
No,
Either the
forget the price.
they
But
just
are there anybody else for whom this bill desk will look attractive? I only think of
um,
Razorpay.
I can think of
If
cred.
it
No, I can think of cred by the way.
Cred, okay.
Yeah.
I could think of Razorpay. It could be interesting if somebody like a Razorpay comes and does an offer.
I think they wouldn't because price is too big, right? Like 4.5, $4.7 billion.
Not at this price, definitely, but I'm just looking at potential suitors. If at all somebody has to come take
I think it's cash
opportunity.
22, right? If it's going to sell any lower, right, then you might as well have sold to the previous suitor, right? Why go for a new suitor? Possibly. And they're saying they're going to go IPO, which is not a bad idea, frankly.
Hmm.
But there's another interesting thing that caught my eye when I spoke IPO, right? Fractions are apparently going IPO. I don't know if you guys,
Yes, I saw. Yes, I did see.
traction.
Traction is doing IPO. Yeah.
yeah, Traction is doing
Yes,
IPO.
Traction.
Uh,
It's a small IPO. I don't think it's a large IPO. It's a smaller one.
yeah. But without speculating, but it is interesting, right? At like a 50 crore revenue, you can go IPO in a way, right? But
No,
that's
but Builders was reportedly planning an IPO before the this conversation of acquisition came up apparently.
hmm, hmm.
Which is interesting in itself, right? I mean, maybe it's very difficult to put your finger on it, right? I mean, the sentiment is not that great even for IPOs
Hmm,
this past year.
hmm.
But this is I didn't know about the traction IPO, man. Seriously. So it could be. I mean, what is the indication like? Is this going to be one of those large IPOs? I doubt.
No, this is not a
You
large
know,
IPO.
No, no,
You
it's a
look at
small
the,
IPO.
it's a very small IPO. Look, 50 crore revenue. Most people don't do an IPO at 50 crore, right? I think there is some action here for them to go to IPO, right? So I looked at the little bit of details, right? Like, it's hard to, frankly, mm, okay, at a personal level, right? I wouldn't subscribe. Coming from the
mm.
same industry, my personal view, I'm saying, look, it's priced like pretty high for like a EBITDA, low EBITDA, and a
It's
revenue
not
of
a bit
40.
of positive. It's a loss-making company.
Yeah, I
So
don't know if people are
85.
watching.
That was my main thing, right? I wouldn't subscribe as a investor because it's a loss-making company at this
Correct.
revenue level, right? So that was the main thing.
Yeah, I think public markets, right? There's so much available, Karthik, at that kind of numbers, right? At 50 crore, revenue with EBITDA positive, there's so many companies. This is like a small cap, right? Or even micro cap, literally. There's so many available. People in the public markets will like really, I'm not sure, who's going to kind of, take it through. I don't know if this is an SME exchange IPO, may not be a main board, but I don't know that. Let me check the detail. But it's interesting is going IPO. That's my view. Maybe small tech companies can do IPO. That actually is what I want to kind of
That
actually
is
talk about.
that is actually an interesting story to tell. I mean,
Yeah,
not we know that a lot of the companies that all of us are funding, they were then either going to end up as middling sort of companies or they will die down, right? For the middling companies, what is the way out for the investors? I think there are very little outcomes, and if this can actually be a viable path, sure, why not, right? At least the investors or the employees can actually, benefit from this for
yeah,
all the effort that they have done. It's not like they haven't created the value. There is still some value creation there. It just may not be palatable to VCs to invest in such companies, but nonetheless, there is value creation, right? And I think that way, this NSE SME wala exchange, comes in handy for companies like this. And more startups should actually look at it. Not every startup is going to be $1 billion unicorn.
Yeah. Well, actually, Karthik, if a lot of startups list, right, then it becomes an interesting place to trade. See, liquidity is a
Right.
problem in the SME exchange today, also, right? People don't trade. I mean, at a good price, at a right valuation, I think the public will be willing to accept technology companies, right? If Paytm and Zomato went IPO, I mean, irrespective of what happened post IPO, right? But still,
Mm-hmm.
people like technology companies because people know that fundamentally technology is the next wave, right? So I think we'll have to get the bridge between private markets and public markets right and price it right. I think we will get there and bring in those efficiencies. I think that's a good thing. We should also see how that plays out in the longer run. Can more small companies go onto the IPO bandwagon? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That
So,
was
Bhargavi, I was reading up more about this Buildesk deal that fell through, right? And I just read somewhere that there is no breakup fee in this deal.
no. Traffic. There is a breakup fee.
I think it
No, no, no.
crossed
There
the
is
time
apparently there is
frame.
no breakup fee.
Really, I think it crossed the time. That's what I saw.
It,
That
it went past the long stop date, Karthik.
long stop date. Yes, it went past the long stop date.
So then, no bigger fee. That's why they waited for the deal to expire, technically.
Which, so this means that process is gonna go without even a scratch.
No, they can
On a,
go,
such a massive
but as a
deal.
counter, there has been a lawsuit filed already.
Hmm. I know the lawsuits will be filed, obviously, given the size of the deal and everything else, right? I mean, I think essentially it's a cold feet with respect to valuation, right? In the
Maybe
changed market, it's very difficult to explain any other way. But then again, there a nuance here also, right? The lack of or the loss of rather the loss of reputation for process as somebody who backed out of this high profile deal. Is that something of a concern?
Yeah, it could be, but again, look, process is big. But what is the potential next, acquisition? How will they treat? Will the agreements get more watertight? All those angles start playing into Kartik because at the end of the day, the lawyers are the same folks who are dealing on both the sides, right? So
I
Yeah.
think business impact is something which is to be seen. This would mean for builders? Did they would they have shared some confidential information which could benefit PayU now? I think that's something, because if there is something like that which could potentially hamper Buildesk's market share, then it could impact their IPO also, even if they want to do IPO now. So that's something I was looking at, right? So what it means for business.
yeah.
That's
No, I
why
think
Yeah.
I still think Buildesk might be more open to selling out, if somebody else comes and does a counter offer now.
interesting. Yeah.
So, Raghavi, I think there is a question or a comment from one of the viewers, which I believe one of you have queued up here. Again, from Raman Vig, it says the deal fall is good for industry. It shows the company can build even such large infra than to acquire at higher cost. Uh,
No, I think this is like telling process through pay you can build such large
Mm,
infra and acquire at higher cost. I mean,
mm,
this is a build versus buy question, if you ask
mm.
me, Karthik. So I mean,
no,
this
but
is
this is also at some level about consolidating,
yeah,
yourself as a market leader,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
More than anything, it's not that the technology. Obviously, this is not rocket technology, right? I think there are quite a few people in the market already. This is about who is going to win the market at the end of the day, and the price that they're willing to pay for that level of market consolidation. Right. Okay. We have. All
no, we have someone who's
right.
telling us how many people are watching this live stream. Thanks, Bhavik, for that.
Thank you, Bhavik. Appreciate it. If you have anything constructive, do let us know. Happy to discuss on that as well. All right. Are we going to discuss anything else?
No, I think Karthik, coming to constructive questions, right? I think from one point of view, I think we are also poised at some level. I think we made some announcements a couple of weeks back. I think we were at an interesting milestone ourselves this week, and hopefully by Monday, right, the milestone would be something that we could potentially celebrate, and the world will probably get to know in some weeks, at least in what we've been doing. Right. So I think that's something exciting. Um,
Yeah.
and
Do you guys want to do any announcement about any much awaited program that we are planning?
oh, program first, you'll have to finalize, Bhargavi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll finalize now. What else is freewheeling for? Okay, but anyway, I think we will do one more angel investing or investing in startup program, but the format, the duration, all that is under discussion. But um, stay tuned in, keep looking at our social channels. We will announce it soon.
Hmm.
We are planning to do it if possible before the new year.
Yeah, I think new angel course coming up. I think that's what I mentioned
Yeah.
somewhere. I think that's an interesting one
There
to
has been a
watch.
lot of inbound, so we were short of bandwidth, and that's why we were putting it off. But because there has been a lot of requests, we thought, hey, let's. It's also fun for us to interact with people, so we thought we will uh, do it towards end of the year and close 2022 with the program.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Bhargavi. I think we also miss doing these angel courses, right? It always used to come up with interesting conversations with people who are interested
Yeah.
in the space. Always good to exchange thoughts on that. But anyway, the format, right? I think on the format, uh, it's something that we are more excited about this time to make it because now that we are in the post-pandemic era, it opens up opportunities for us to think a little bit outside the box and make it a little bit more interactive, more exciting and fun. In addition to the learning part as well.
Yeah, yeah. We should probably do a poll, online or offline, or both.
About what? About the format?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we should keep it as a super secret format. Not let the world know.
So yeah, yeah. The format decision is on us. The poll.
Yeah. So what else has been happening, Karthik? Winter is over.
Far from it, I don't think winter is over. But we've been seeing some statistics. So this is something that I've been talking about for quite some time to all of my portfolio companies, right? It's like, sure, investors are taking their time. The growth investors, Series A, Series B investors, are taking more time to come back, right? But also, these guys are sitting on piles of money. At some point, they're gonna have to loosen their purse strings. So I think that is we are about 6 months away, is what my guess is, from when things will be a little bit more robust. Until then, it will be a little bit slow going. But having said that, I think in our stage, the activity is still there. I don't think we've seen a lot of slowdown in what we are doing, where we are doing, right? Um, where something interesting that I observed, I don't know if I don't. It's just anecdotal, right? I don't necessarily have data to back this up. But there seems to be some slowdown on the syndication side in the pre-seed angel investing side, right?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of deals that are being syndicated last year versus around this time versus this year, I think there is a significant slowdown there. Um, so, thoughts on that, Bhargavi?
I think you're right in terms of the observation, right? But only thing is, I don't see there is a slowdown. Founders, I think there is still capital chasing at seed stage, pre-seed stage, and and I'm not sure. Maybe the velocity of deal making at Series A has probably slowed down, but we still see these large deals happening at Series A even now. The 8 million deal, 7 million Series A, which is happening now, which is actually a good sign, because India traditionally used to be small Series A transaction country, right? We used to see very rarely the 7 8 million Series A, but now if it has become a norm, then it is good in a way, which means we are maturing as a ecosystem in this. But this has reduced at Series A and plus.
No, I think the other perspective, right? Syndicates, right? I think yeah, we've not been looking at it very actively. Maybe because the current status is one reason it could be. I mean, without data, right, it's hard to justify. But I kind of sense what you're saying. But yeah, more data will clearly confirm, right? It could also be this other reason, Karthik. Really, that people who were investing through individual syndicates, right? They may all have taken a flight because the market is went through a winter, right? So I think very hard to pinpoint, but you can see those signals, right? I mean, we ourselves had a quarter of drought, if you wish, right? Which
Mhm.
is, I think after that, people have probably not come back, is my view. And I think this uh, profile of investors, right, who invest through syndicates or back through syndicates, right, they do one to their personal decision making because choice is important for them, and that means they also exercise choice on when to put money, right? So they all have
Mhm.
probably backed out, and typically, I think they seem to come when the market is on an up move or
Yeah,
during what we call as
boom
prolific
cycle.
times, yeah, during the boom cycle and during the down cycle, right? Typically, they just fly away. So that could be a real reason, frankly, could be. But again, I mean, we need to look at data. I see, it's too early. Maybe the next quarter, this quarter's data will start showing that how many deals happening, what's happening on that front. But I
Yeah.
agree, some of the syndicates that we know very well, they're not doing syndicates at all. They all gone back to doing their day job.
And another
Right.
factor which I have noticed when I speak to people is, especially people who came in new during 2018, 2019, 2019 boom, especially. Now it's been three plus years for them, right, in their investing journey. And so many people have told, hey, I have not got any exit. I want to now wait. So I think now the reality is coming true to them. This is a long gestation asset class, right? So if somebody came in with the view that I'm going to get an exit in 18 months or 24 months, so they are getting to know the reality now. So there's another trend which I have been seeing when I talk to LPs, potential LPs or angel investors in general.
I mean,
Interesting.
good or bad, syndicates having fallen through, I think from our perspective, we may feel slightly optimistic. That means money is getting directed to more serious full-time funds, hopefully, in the long run. And it's just not going all over the place in a way. And we've heard this through another source also, right? One of the articles mentioning network that some term sheets are not getting honored. Actually, that could be a
Mm.
consequence of investors drying out. Syndicate investors drying out. I mean, that actually is a signal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. But look, syndicates have a role to play. They will obviously continue. I think some of the serious syndicates will continue. Part-time syndicates will take a backseat. And when the tide is rising again, I think these guys will jump on the bandwagon. All right. I think we have a question from Bhavik. It's okay. I'll just put it up here so other people can also see. Any comments on social stock exchange to raise funds? I am not very familiar with this concept. I believe this is something to do with Non-profit organizations, is that right?
No, Karthik, I think they've been floating this idea that, crowdsourcing, as we call it, right, for public good or for some community thing. I mean, that definition is being tweaked as social stock exchange. Actually, this is crowdfunding. So, how do you bring that piece into
But
work?
for
That it,
non-profit organizations.
yeah, usually for non-profit purposes. Yeah.
Got it.
So that I think that's going through a discussion paper with SEBI, and I think
Yeah,
nothing's got
yeah.
finalized. There's a draft paper. I'm assuming the SEBI is floated. I think early days. I've not spent too much time, but really, is it for it largely will become for sustainability or community oriented
I
companies.
think initial draft paper is mostly for non-profit organizations,
Yeah, yeah.
NPOs.
Correct.
Does that mean that it will be scrutinized the same way that any other public company is scrutinized?
No, I think Karthik.
No. But it
You
does
know,
say that for you to get registered with the exchange, right? So which means it's probably a avenue for these guys to get listed or raise capital through public. So, but
Yeah,
in terms of scrutiny, I have to probably read the complete draft paper. This is just high level.
yeah, yeah.
right,
It's
right.
too
Because
early
that
days,
is
I
that
think.
is an important consideration, right, Bhargav? Like, why do most of the private companies want to stay as private as long as possible is so that they don't have to comply with all the regulations that come with being public company and the scrutiny that they suffer at the hands of the analysts and
Mm.
everybody else every quarter. Uh, and can a charitable company actually, without necessarily, because a lot of charitable companies, right, don't necessarily have very competent managers
Mm.
because they just cannot afford it, not because of any other reason, but because of the crunch or the finances or whatever, they won't be able to afford the best of the people unless they're volunteering, right? In that case, right, how difficult or easy is it for these organizations to comply with all the regulations that come with being a
Yeah,
public
yeah.
company? All right. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for that interesting topic. Learned something new as well in the process. Okay, we have another question. All right. Okay, let me just put it up, and then we can discuss this. Hey, what are your views on robo wealth advisory in India? So many people rely on friends for investment advice, or people with less than 50 lakh capital usually get biased advisory. Anybody wants to take this?
I think this is like beyond my scope. The wealth management um, is very
Yeah.
different from what we do. So I think I think it's something I'm not qualified enough to answer is the right thing.
So let's just spin the question a little bit, Bhargavi. What do you think about startups doing robo advisory?
Karthik, what
Okay,
is
that is
robo?
a
I mean,
interesting one. We have seen some startups also, right, which is building tech for robo advisory or even wealth managers. I think there is some white space which is there in terms of especially holistic wealth management, decentralized for the masses. Somebody like a end money or a grow or even a deserve is trying to bridge that gap. But what I'm understanding of late when I look at or when I talk to wealth managers is there is still a lot of market available, right, to go and build a large organization. Even if Ind Money or a Deserve becomes large companies, there is still going to be market because it's completely underserved in terms of organizing this market and bringing tech there. So it's an interesting space. I would still be looking at a company which is doing something different in this space, and can they build a large organization.
all right. Thanks for that. Thank you, Naman, for an interesting question.
Yeah, no, I think Vinod wanted to share his thoughts
Go
also.
go ahead, Vinod.
Um, nothing specific, right? I think my view is more like, look, um this robo advisory is really not robo advisory in a way, right? I mean, it's not like some automated stuff is telling you something. So there is no robo advisory. All the robo advisories who started have eventually turned into offering all the possible instruments and eventually turning into wealth management and getting regulated and all that. The real robo advisory is not happening, actually not even in the developed markets. I think, people start something and eventually it turns into something. And I think in India also, people got inspired from what was happening in the US with all that, and it just turned into something else again here. There's no real robo advisory platform, frankly speaking, even in the country now, right?
All right. So, anything else on your plate that you guys wanted to have a quick chat about, or
I think, I mean, that's it. I think there's nothing else.
Who is
Any
going to watch Ponniyin Selvan this weekend?
weekend, weekend I have to do farming. Sorry, I go back to the
I
roots.
watched. I watched first day.
I'm surprised Bhargavi
Oh,
watched
when
it.
Vinod was vacationing in Varkala, that's what
in
I was
Varkala?
doing in Bangalore.
But what made you to watch it the very first day?
It's like a classic wrong question.
No, so I have read the book 3 times,
It
and
it was not Maniratnam.
the
No,
first time
no.
I no, it's the book. The first time I read the book was when I was 17 years or 18 years, right? So it's like it's a dream that somebody will make it into a movie since that time, right? Because when you read the book, it takes you into a journey, and it just creates that excitement in you that somebody has attempted to make it into a movie. So I think it's just plain simple because the book is just wonderful. It's one of the best novels I have read. So I think and it may. I have an uncle. He said, "Hey, I have read it like um, any number of time. I have lost count, but the number is 15 plus minimum." So and if you see tweets, there are people who have read the book like 20 times, 30 times. It's just and somebody like me, I don't stop with just what Kalki has told in the book. I go research on Cholas, Pandyas, Cheras, Pallavas, how it was, how was the architecture and all that. So it's a journey. So
So,
it's
But
just
this
Karthik,
is
I've not
not
read the book
real
once also.
story, right?
Karthik.
This is a novel. So
It's
it's
a
a
historical
fiction.
fiction. It's a historical fiction, Karthik.
historical fiction.
This is
I've
not
not read the
history,
book.
right?
Yeah.
So part of my research is to know what part of the book is fiction and what part is reality, right? So
Hmm.
I would have gone and read about scholarly articles on the copper plates which they have found from different parts of Tamil Nadu, on which the book is based on, to know what is really told in those plates. So I think it's a journey, and it's just you have to watch it on the first day or the first week when you have read the book so many times.
I'm like surprised. Bhargavi is so passionate about beyond startups, about money and so on. I've not read it once. I would want to watch it, but I've read historical fiction,
Do
not
you read
necessarily.
Tamil fluently, Vinod?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I
So
can't read. I
you
can
you
read
have
it
to read
Sanskrit.
Tamil fluently.
I can't read. But I've read a lot of historical fiction, like by the Tungabhadra. A bunch of them, actually. I think I'm more a specialist in medieval history rather than ancient history. So,
Ancient history.
much more from the 12th century, when the raids
Ah.
started. That's where my history specialty is largely. I think before that, I haven't spent too much time reading, but I like reading history actually. So there's a lot of books
Yeah,
like
yeah.
history, yeah. And historical fiction is fun because there's reality merged. By the Tungabhadra is on Vijayanagar's kingdom.
Hmm.
Amazingly told, very simply, nicely told. It's written by a Bengali author. I read the translated version, and I've read a couple of others also. One on the Hyderabad Prince or something like that. Another one. That's also a fascinating story. Again. So I think historical fiction is interesting. If somebody has an interest in history and then storytelling combined, makes for a nice combo, if you wish. Yeah.
All right. On that note, I'll wait for the movie to come on Prime
Netflix.
or Netflix. But
Oh my
I think
God.
no, it's not fun watching dubbed movies in theaters. It
You
just
watched the
something
Telugu
is
version.
missing.
You go
I
watch
know
it.
it's a dubbed version. It's not made directly in the same language, right? So you just
Maybe.
miss
Yeah.
the connection sometimes. You don't feel like watching in theaters.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was dubbed because I know at least Hindi was made in parallel. I don't know about Telugu
Okay,
whether
No,
it was made in parallel.
Hindi also dubbed, I believe.
definitely all are dubbed versions.
No, Hindi, I heard that it was made in parallel. It's not
Oh,
dubbed.
It's the same actor, same actresses, right? So it would be just dubbed, is my guess. Yeah. Unless there is another Aishwarya Rai and Trisha switch
No,
roles.
no, it is same. I should, but the lip sync you would have because it was made in parallel. So it's like
so it's
that.
like simultaneously shot in both the
Simultaneously made. Yes,
languages.
yes.
Shot, yeah, maybe that.
Okay.
You know, Mani Ratnam is known to do that. Guru,
Yeah, yeah.
he
That's
done
why
something.
I heard about Hindi. I'm not sure about Telugu.
I know Telugu is well dubbed. I heard Telugu had the least collection of all the
Yeah,
languages.
yeah.
Is it? No, no, I think it did
Yes.
well, man. It collected some 12 crores or something in Telugu.
It was the lowest compared to other languages. Maybe there's a reason.
Oh, okay.
In between
Yeah.
VC analysis, right? This is all also I keep track of, regional impacts and biases.
No, no, I don't think so. Look, Telugu people are very famous for accepting foreign cultures all the time.
Hey, they go to
Uh,
foreign. That I agree.
no, man, seriously, man. Roja is like a big hit in Andhra. Gentleman is other movie, Tamil movie that was
We're
dubbed. It
talking
was a
of a
big hit.
different era. This is a different era.
Yeah, I know. But even I think recently of late, no, not much.
Yeah. No, actually
But
speaking, I've not watched any big movies of late. The triple R's, right? There's this Kannada movie. When we're talking about movie and somebody's asking about space tech,
Yes,
okay.
check.
Yeah, and let me come back to that Kannada movie called Kanthara, which apparently is doing pretty well, coming from the coastal belt talent, which is slightly unrecognized, right? There is always this repent in
hmm.
the coastal belt of Karnataka. Those
That's a
who
Kannada movie or Tulu?
Kannada movie called
Kannada.
Kanthara, very doing pretty well, I think. So I think there's a revival in both. I think Kannada industry, film industry. There's massive, interesting movies coming up with Rakshit Shetty, all these guys, and then his KGF also made it massive
Big. Hmm.
entertainer. So our quality of the movies have gone up significantly in the recent past. That's one thing. Obviously, Telugu you had Triple R and Bahubali, and now Tamil has come back with Vikram, and then you have Ponniyin Selvan and Ponniyin Selvan 2. And then you have Saif Ali Khan doing Ravan, which is another controversy.
Adi Purush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like another massive. I mean, I think we're following all of that, in the VC channel, which is interesting. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me then we'll try and get Indra's question right. Coming back, does Java Capital invest in space tech or deep tech stuff? Absolutely yes, Indra. We've done bunch of them already, like ePlane, Agnicool. We've done Sindler. We've done another recent investment which was announced last week. So we do quite a bit, uh, uh, on deep tech. Actually, so we do a lot of deep technology companies. Yeah, if you have anything interesting companies, or if you are starting, feel free to talk to us. Yeah, all ears open for deep tech and space tech companies in the country. Yes.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Indra, for that question.
Thank you
Yeah,
for tolerating all our movie talks also.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's listening. I mean, I think this is freewheeling, right? So we just allow it to flow where it flows. We're just not stopping ourselves, to just talk about startups. We do try and keep it, but it sometimes moves, reflects each of our interests beyond, startups and venture capital and from where we come. And I keep telling people, look, every decision that we make in the firm is a function of who we are, where we are. Maybe if Bhargavi sees a demo of Ponniyin Selvan in VR, right? She may fund that company for all you know, because that could change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know, right? So it's a function of all of what we do. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. On that note, um, yeah, actually, Indra, if you're building something interesting and you want to send your deck across, sure, let's do it. We would love to take a look
Yeah.
and get back to you. It's hello@javacapital.co. And on that note, I can't wait for weekend. Uh, I am so looking forward to a weekend full of rest and rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm, I'm,
good
I'm
seeing
going
you
back.
guys.
I'm going back to my side hustle. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. You go back to your roots of farming. Your retirement job. Take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Chalo then.
Okay.
Bye bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye bye.
joining.
See you.
Bye.